Hey everyone, welcome back to World of Warcraft Classic Hardcore and our Human Paladin. I appreciate you joining me today, and I hope you are all doing well. Today we're kicking things off with the Stalvin questline. We'll see how far we can get with that. It'll probably take us all the way back to Darkshire. And we'll see what it takes to take on Stalvin himself. I imagine we won't be quite ready for it, but we'll see when we get there. So if we wrap things up with that, I think we're going to hearth back to Menethil Harbor so that we can continue with our missing diplomat questline. And we'll see where that takes us. If that ends up sending us over to Kalimdor, specifically Theramore, I can't really remember if it does or not. We do have another quest that we could pick up in the Deepwater Tavern as well for Theramore. But at the moment, we're entering Goldshire now. Let's head inside the Lion's Pride Inn. And we will speak with our next guy to move this along. Oh, of course, it's Innkeeper Farley.
Looking for something specific? See you later.
Let's not set that as our home.
Safe travels.
Stalvin sure sounds familiar.
See you around.
The name Stalvin rings a bell. I remember now. Many years back on a stormy night, a messenger came in seeking refuge for the night. Near the stroke of midnight, the man ran down the stairs screaming, his face pale with fear. Still wearing his bedclothes, he disappeared into the downpour. In his haste, he forgot his letters in the chest upstairs. He never returned for them. One remains from that Stalvin fellow, intended for the Canal District in Stormwind. Help yourself to it.
Have a good one.
Surprised nobody else here helped themselves to it. Well, let's take a look. And yeah, this storage chest appears here at all times. I think we questioned it at somewhere around level 5 when we first came here. An undelivered letter. Dear noble sir, word of your need for a tutor for your children has traveled to me here in Goldshire, where I take up temporary residence in the Lion's Pride Inn. Due to the unfortunate state of events in the region, I was forced to abandon my post as headmaster of Moonbrook Schoolhouse. Please accept my application to serve as your tutor for your offspring. Headmaster Krillian of the Academy can speak to you of my abilities if necessary. I shall travel to meet you in person when the winter rains subside and the roads are suitable for travel once again. Until then, Stalvin Mistmantle of Silverpine. All right. And deliver it to the Canal District in Stormwind. Okay. So let's get back to Stormwind. And we'll see who we need to talk to. Always good, though, to interact with somebody within the canals. I feel like they're a little bit underutilized in many other ways. So we're looking for somebody in the canals. I guess we'll start closer to the magic quarter, and then we'll work our way around. Canals are quite extensive, so it could be anywhere. Keep an eye out for that yellow dot on our mini-map. So I'll head towards the Cathedral of Light first. I feel like I'm inclined to believe that they'll be closer to either Cathedral Square or Old Town or the Dwarven District. But watch, I'll be dead wrong, probably. So far, I don't see anything. Through Cathedral Square. We'll cut back towards the middle of the city. And then we'll make our way up to the Dwarven District and then probably back down around Old Town. Still haven't noticed anything yet. Unless I missed it by accident. I'll be right outside the trade district. Or watch, he'll be in the magic quarter, whoever we're looking for. Still don't see anybody down this way. Alright, yeah, let's wrap around back towards the magic quarter. Always up for a walk around Stormwind anyway. Stockades. I don't think I've ever actually been inside these buildings before. Wonder what's in here. Master of Arcane Arts. So we've got a librarian here that is interesting. We've got like a smaller library, different than the Royal Library, I suppose. like we've read quite a few of these books already, though. And this building just feels like a common residence. Oh, and I just found our dot. Look at that. The park canals. I would not have guessed. Although he is in the corner, kind of by himself. Caretaker Folsom.
What can I do for you?
What have you got there? Let me take a look at that.
Be careful.
You've got some nerve bringing this here.
For the Alliance.
My father was the caretaker of the estate long before I was. He had to mop the blood up after the massacre, but that's neither here nor there. The last funds of the Flintridge Trust have dried up. Now the last of the family possessions are headed for auction. Blame the tax vultures. I guess if you're really itching to learn more, you're free to look through this junk. Who knows what you might find. So we're going to search through the packed up possessions for a clue. Okay. You slowly slide the lid off the crate. Inside the crate you find various objects. Musty heirlooms, a family portrait, a few hunting trophies, and some old books. Near the bottom, underneath a ceramic vase, you uncover a torn journal page. Oh, and we're getting attacked again. Naturally. I'll read that torn journal page in just a second. Who is this mere human that meddles with that which is past? May the legend of Stalvin die along with you. Okay. So it says only the bottom half of this journal page remains. Giles. The boy seems a bit rambunctious and will be a challenge to educate. However, the elder daughter, Taloa, seems exceptionally smart. I couldn't help but notice her captivating beauty as well. She is on the cusp of womanhood now. Supposedly, the Lord has arranged her marriage for next year, but I digress. This week, I will accompany the family to their summer cottage near the Eastvale logging camp in Elwyn, close to the Red Ridge Mountains. I hope to write more. I hope to write more while there. Okay. Provides your next clue. All right. The Eastvale logging camp we go. Oh yeah, right, with another one of these Curse of Stalvins. These are quite rough, but I don't know how much fighting we're going to be doing over the next 10 minutes. It's probably going to take that long just to get to the Eastvale logging camp, honestly, if I had to guess. Not sure if it would be faster to fly to Lakeshire first, but I'm kind of thinking it doesn't matter. I'd rather just take that lovely stroll through Elwyn anyway. So let us enjoy that. We'll keep going with this Stalvin questline. If that does end up sending us back to Darkshire after we learn more from the Eastvale logging camp. So which way am I going? I'm going the wrong way. Then we can just run to Darkshire, I think, from there. bridge should be at the Eastvale logging camp shortly. I have a fairly good feeling of where we need to go. It's probably going to end up being up on the hill with the former general, commander, something of the sort. Love this hollowed out log here. It's such a nice touch. There's our guy, Marshall Haggard.
Need help?
That sounds familiar. What have you got there? I cannot see. My eyesight is very bad. Put it in my hands.
Go with honor, friend.
I can barely make out those letters, but that writing style reminds me of something I once saw before my vision became so poor.
Be careful.
There was a bundle of parchments in the chest upstairs when I moved into this place. I looked at them once when I first arrived, but I gave up once the fog hazed over my peepers. Do an old, nearly blind man a favor and check the chest upstairs for anything that might help you in your quest to discover more about this Stalvin character. I'm pretty sure there's a faded journal page that might be of interest to you. Bring it to me, and I'll help in any way I can.
For the Alliance.
Appreciate it, Marshall Haggard. Let's grab that. Faded journal page. Oh, hello again. Most strange and uncomfortable feeling. Never have I felt the way I did today. Whilst assisting Giles with his history lesson, Taloa was outside tending to the flower garden. After a few minutes, she came inside and placed a scarlet begonia on my open palm and smiled at me in such a way that my heart felt as though it was trembling within my chest. Teacher falling for the student.
Well met.
Mr. Haggard,
Light bless you.
you found it.
Go with honor, friend.
I know of someone who might be able to assist you. Back when I was leading the Stormwind Guard, we used to get drinks at the Scarlet Raven Tavern in Darkshire. The innkeeper there, Smits, was quite an expert on the local lore. Show him this page and see what he has to say about it.
Be careful.
Very well. And we are going to make our run over to Duskwood again. We'll probably just cross the darkened bank. It'll probably be easier. We'll head over to the left side of this tower here. The Ridgepoint Tower. A nice stroll through the woods and back into undead territory. Back in Duskwood, should be a short walk away. Back in Darkshire once again. No sign of stitches at the moment. Not in general chat either. Tavern Keep Smiths, what do you got for us? Marshal Haggard sent you. Why didn't you say so? Ah, good old Haggard. Poor chap is going to be completely blind before long. Anyway, let me see what you got there.
Have a good one.
By the light. I bet I recognize that handwriting.
See you around.
I followed the legend of that Stalvin character for years. When those visiting nobles were slaughtered a few years back, I went with Haggard to investigate. I found these muddy pages, but we were never able to link the handwriting to that crazy man in the woods. Your trail of evidence proves his guilt. Take this to Commander Ebenlock immediately, and fill her in on what you've discovered.
Be careful.
A blood-stained journal page. Muddy journal pages. Most certain that she shares the same feelings for me now. She even placed her hand on mine this morning. When she smiles, her eyes light up like glittering diamonds. Unspoken words pass between us. I can feel her in my pounding heart and heated veins. And then we got another page. Anger and fury, the likes of which I never knew existed. How dare she? As I was instructing Giles in meaning of numbers, Taloa appears before me with a suitor, holding hands in public nonetheless. What an uncouth young man. Rather than introduce me properly, Taloa simply said, "Oh, that's just my tutor, Uncle Stalvin. He's a nice old man." Old. At that word, my cheeks flushed with heat. I am but a few years older, and yet she betrays. Oh boy. Can only guess what happens next.
Well met.
This better be good, Paladin. Let me see what you have and tell me your tale. But by the light, be quick about it. Darkshire's defense is my number one priority. I have not the time to squander on dead-end leads.
Have a good one.
My, you have proved yourself to be quite a detective, Paladin.
Farewell.
I've had my eye on that creep Stalvin for quite some time, but if this page was written by the same hand, it proves his guilt beyond a shadow of a doubt. In all his days keeping the town registry, Clerk Daltrey has become an expert at identifying handwriting. Show him this page and see if the writing matches that of the registry signature.
Safe travels.
Good day to you.
Back again, Sedelian. What do you have this time?
See you around.
Why, yes. The writing on this page does in fact match that of the registry signatures.
See you later.
Let Commander Ebenlock know immediately that the handwriting matched Sedelian. Her suspicions were correct.
Safe travels.
Can I help you?
I knew it. Fine work, Sedelian.
See you around.
Stalvin Mistmantle led a life of depravity. Innocent victims died by his hand. Undoubtedly, he is guilty of countless crimes. Now the lunatic threatens Darkshire. The light only knows what sordid acts he is plotting. Travel to his cottage just north of town, Paladin, and execute Stalvin once and for all. When the deed is done, travel to Madame Eva's and show her his family ring. After all, it was her premonition that led to this gruesome discovery, but Darkshire is safer because of her. And I've said this before, but once again, I said this about some quests in Ashenvale. Anytime a quest offers you a weapon or a ring as a reward, it is going to be difficult.
Be careful.
Probably. Let's actually check the log. Yeah, he's gonna be orange to us, I suppose. We could check out the area though. Especially if he's considered an undead. I would be more willing to complete this here and now. I was curious because I generally speaking, I know of this story. I'm pretty familiar with it. I thought there were more like books or pages or notes to read through. I guess a journal would be more accurate. Of him like actually committing the crime, but I can see, yeah, his residence is probably going to fill in this blank we have on the map. Yeah, Manor Mismental. So we've got a bunch of corpses littered around his house. But because we are paladins, I'm willing to, I'm willing to investigate further. Clear out this area. Then I'll get an idea of what level he is. I don't know if he's going to be aggressive right from the start, or if we have to like speak with him first in order to trigger the fight. So I guess we'll find out. But as long as we, keep getting our mana back between pulls here, these undead should be pretty decently easy to deal with, I think. And we can pull from range too. Good to know that we fare quite well against undead, especially at our level. We're still at full health and we didn't even have the seal up. We're just gonna clear as much out as we can, or at least enough that'll give us enough space to run away if we need to. Luckily there's nothing in the woods behind us, as long as we're quick about getting to Stalvin before some of these corpses respawn. Generally speaking, you can kind of see enemy nameplates through walls, so if we get close enough to the building, we can kind of tell if Stalvin's already kind of ready to go. Oh yeah, he's right there. Level 32? I was expecting more. Let's take him on. He's a dual wielder, so we'll definitely double up on Seal of Light. He's not going to miss too much though, because he's a level above us actually. Okay, we got the Curse of Stalvin up, so we're even weaker. Stun him, we'll take a break. Get some flash of lights in. This is actually pretty tough. He's not giving us a chance at all. Let's use the bag of marbles. We still have plenty of those. We might as well use that. Make his hit chance a little bit worse. We got a little bit of help from the warlock there. There it is. Mismantle family ring. Stalvin Mismantle. Let's see if he has anything inside his house. He's got a food crate. Oh, just surrounded by a bunch of undead. And I think he was considered a humanoid. I didn't even try to use exorcism, but that probably would have helped if we were able to do so. I'm surprised that quest is orange, though. To us, he's only a level above us, and all the undead in the area were around our level or even less. But that's awesome. I'm glad we were able to complete this quest line all the way through, just in one shot.
King's honor, friend. Go with honor, friend.
I know, Sedelian. Stalvin is dead. I sensed a wave of hope ripple through the tainted forest. Once and for all, Duskwood is free from his bloodthirst. My joy is hampered by thoughts of those who fell prey to the horrible beast. Nonetheless, you are a brave and cunning paladin.
Light bless you.
Awesome. I will take that two-handed weapon. Thank you very much. And now, let us take the road. I suppose we can vendor a couple things for now.
Need help? See you around.
Can't do that with you. And then let's take the road over to Jitters, over at Raven Hill. Since we're here and since we have some time. Because that quest is still green to us. And we'll see what he has to say. I feel like we've probably discovered the rest of Duskwood minus the Emerald Dream Portal. Why don't we go ahead and just pick that up right now? Just to fill in the map. Obviously we'll never, I never see the place again, but yeah, I don't know what else we would need to discover. There might be something like random in the hills or something. Let's get the whole place discovered. Got a nice night elven-like entrance. Twilight Grove. Perfect. Don't have to go any further. It's probably advisable that we don't. Don't see the big dragon walking around, but don't want to stick around and aggravate it. It feels good to have the map discovered. Let's get back to Jitters. Hill. Speak with the Jitters again.
What can I do for you?
Who are you? Leave me be. I mean, we've met you before,
Safe travels.
so, yes, I'm the author of that book. You finally found me, eh? Well, if you read that journal, then you only know half of it.
Have a good one.
The book you found was only half finished. I had to leave it at Sven's farm when I fled there. Here, take my completed journal to Sven. It describes more fully what happened at his farm. Although this journal has been my only company these past weeks, if giving it up keeps me from having to face Sven and his wrath, then I will do it willingly.
See you later.
And we have the completed journal now. 20 pages. Oh my god. Holy cow. Wow. So I guess this is the full story of what happened to Sven and his family. Well, let's read it. Let's get a quick drink of water first. My journal. The terror of these past few weeks is almost more than I can bear. Why is it that by writing words into this book, I can somehow keep the madness at bay? Perhaps it is as if I'm confessing my sins to a silent companion, or freeing my mind of these tortured thoughts and confining them to paper. I began a journal before this one, but it remains in a place to which I cannot return. So I will start afresh, but this time I will start from the true beginning. It began with the finding of that cursed scythe in the mine they call Roland's Doom. Yes, that was the start of it. Before that, the Device Brotherhood was happy with our progress in Duskwood. Before the scythe, the terrors of this place seemed as tame as Northshire Valley. But ever since I found the haft of the scythe jutting from the pile of rubble in the mine and, curse me, pulled it free, Roland's Doom became a place of vile death. If I had known what would happen, I would have cut off my own hand to keep from grasping that rune-carved wood. So many regrets. I always thought that was a privilege of the old. I now know that it is not the old. It is the hopeless, who don the mantle of regret, unable and unwilling to shrug it from shoulders stooped with misery. But enough waxing like a pipe, mad poet. I must continue with the chronicle. After the scythe was freed, a change rippled through the mine. Light from our flickering torches warped, and the strength of our voices seemed beyond our control. Sometimes a man's whisper roared through the tunnels, forcing hands on ears, and sometimes our shouts barely traveled a few steps before diminishing into a hint on the wind. Unnerving, yes, but we did not have long to wonder at this strangeness. It was but a harbinger of what truly drove us from the mine, the Worgen. They came at us from everywhere, clawing from hidden holes at our feet and dropping upon us from silent perches above. Half our men fell in those first panicked minutes. The rest, including myself, tried to flee. As I ran, I saw so many of my brothers taken by tooth and claw, heard so many screams cut short or gurgle to silence. For all I know, I am the only human to escape that place. I can only guess why I survived that night. I have always been cautious, always quick to flinch from jabs and leap free of pitfalls. My nickname, Jitters, comes from this trait, so perhaps it was just that knack for caution that saved me. Or maybe it was the scythe I pulled from the rubble. It cannot be the scythe itself, for I lost it during my frantic flight. But if it was I who brought the Worgen to Duskwood, then perhaps the Worgen afforded me a rare courtesy. Curse them. Or perhaps I am doomed to witness the change I wrought on Duskwood. Perhaps it is my fate to watch as the Worgen tear into this land, staining it even darker with their foulness. If that truly is my fate, then it is twofold, for the Worgen are not only powered to clutch at Duskwood, or not the only to power to clutch at Duskwood, the fiends from Deadwind Pass have also staked claim. That is the next chapter of my tale, and I pray it is the last. After surviving the flight from Roland's Doom, I hid within a barn owned by a man named Sven. I spent a few days in the barn, and such horror lingered with me that I never once made myself known to Sven or his family. But from what I saw from my hiding place, I knew these farmers were quite decent folk. I had stepped from my concealment. Had I stepped from my concealment, I think they would have taken me in, but trust is hard for me. Harder still after the shock in the mine. So I remained hidden, and it saved my life. A few days later, I arrived at the barn. Sven left his farm for Darkshire. He kissed his wife and smiled to his children and promised to return soon with toys and sweets. The poor man. That was the last time he saw his family unmutilated. At least they parted happily. And at least his wife was the first to die and was freed from seeing the slaughter of her children. But these small graces do nothing for me. I saw what happened, and it will ever haunt my dreams. My hand trembles as I recall the details of that night, when Sven was away and his family was doomed to face the Black Riders alone. Again, regret claws at me, for I was there and could have risen against those fiends from Deadwind Pass. But it is a false regret. It is the same that plagues any survivor of a tragedy. I know that, had I left my place of hiding, I too would have been killed, my body ripped and torn, and its pieces spread so widely that I would not be recognized. But even though I know I could have done nothing to stop this heinous murder, one true regret does remain. I brought the Black Riders to Sven's farm. My discovery of the scythe not only unleashed the Worgen upon Duskwood, it drew the riders from Deadwind Pass. I know this because just before they began their slaughter, they asked one question to Sven's wife as she held her children close, giving them what comfort she could, though she was certain death was near. The scythe of a loon, one of the Dark Riders screeched in a voice both harsh and shrill, like the grinding of an axe on stone, and the last word, a loon, it croaked as if choking on the sound. Dread gripped me when I heard that voice, both from the horrid sound of it and because I knew the scythe which the rider spoke. It must be the same cursed thing I drew from the rocks at Roland's Doom days before. It was what the Black Riders sought, and it was what would kill Sven's family. I never learned the name of Sven's wife, as she was only ever called Dearest and My Love and Mommy by her husband and children, but I wish I knew it. I am the only living memory of her deed that day, and although she was just a farmer's wife, never have I seen a man or woman act with such bravery. Of course, she did not know of the scythe, but when she learned the riders sought it, in an instant a plan formed in her head, and it was bold and clever, if only it had worked. The scythe, she said in a calm voice. Of course I do. Who here wouldn't? She looked at the riders with steady eyes, and I would have sworn she spoke the truth if I had not known better. There was no way she could have known about the scythe. Her gambit paid off. The same rider who uttered the question before bent his head slightly toward her, and shrieked, "Where?" "I'll take you, all of you," she said, and I could see a small hope flicker behind her eyes. But the way is far, and my children would slow us. We must leave them." Her trick was simple, but simple tricks have the best hope of success. If it worked, it would lead the riders away from the farm. She would be lost, but her children would be safe, and it would work, if only the riders believed her noble lies. Although I have never been a student of the light, I prayed fiercely for Sven's wife as she stood against those terrible riders. Please, I prayed, let them believe. They stood frozen, and she met their gazes with calm. Then one rider looked up as if hearing a distant call. He drew from his garb a small gem and peered into it. He then gestured with the bauble toward Sven's wife. A light crept from the rider toward the woman, shaping itself into a grim white hand. She stared into the light, unflinching, but I could see uncertainty behind her mask of confidence. When the hand reached her, it spread its fingers over her head, and it squeezed. Sven's wife stood rigid as a board, and her eyes grew wide, and although her lips pulled back to mouth a scream, no sound escaped. After a few moments of this torture, the hand released her, dropping her to her knees. The rider who held the bauble then sat erect in his saddle, and a loud voice erupted from it. "This woman lies," it said in a voice that has scarred my dreams. "She has not seen the scythe." After this, the rider's shoulders stooped slightly, as if a spirit within him had fled. And then, in the old, shrieking voice it used earlier, these final words were uttered. "The Lord has spoken. Kill them." I cannot describe what happened next. It is clear in my mind, but even my wretched soul cannot put to paper the events of those next few grisly minutes. I can only write that Sven's family was killed, and soon after, Sven returned to this grim, deathly scene. Such grief was in him that I was afraid to show myself, and so afraid was I that he would find me. I fled from my hiding spot in the barn. I do not know where Sven is now, but I pray he will, someday, find peace. I spent the next few weeks moving from place to place, never lingering for fear of the riders. I am now in the abandoned town of Raven's Hill, as always, hiding. I cannot face whatever power they used against Sven's wife, and I know it searches Duskwood even still for the scythe. It is lost to me, and I thank the light for this, for had I kept it, I know I would have been found. Even now, I know in my heart that I will be found. I'm so tired. Wow. That is fantastic. Loved reading that. And definitely worth the 20-page read. Super good storytelling in some of these random books and journals and like notes you can find in vanilla in general. Definitely need some more water after that. Yeah, I just that's kind of one of the things I would selfishly want in a Classic Plus experience. I would love to see just more stuff like that, but for all the other races, and especially for Horde side too. I would love to see some more notes and journals and like quest lines that are like this for a lot of those races. Tells such a cool and interesting story, as gruesome as these events are. And man, do I really feel for Sven right now. As we're about to hand him this journal, and he's going to be reading it. Let's get a good angle here.
Light bless you.
This journal explains much to me, and sets me on the path against the Dark Riders. I have seen these riders in Duskwood, and I have seen them speak with the wizard Morbent Fell at Forlorn Row.
For the Alliance.
Morbent Fell is a necromancer, and an ally to the Dark Riders. I would pit you against the power of Morbent Fell, but I will not send you against that vile fiend without first knowing your strength. You have already proven your bravery to me, but if you truly wish to face the necromancer, then you must now prove your skill against his minions. 15 skeletal raiders, healers, and warders.
Light bless you.
That should be right around our level, I think. Yeah, I think we can complete this actually, so I think that's what we're going to end up doing in the next episode. And that's going to be a perfect way to get to level 32 as well, because we're only 4 bars away. And this will certainly push us over the edge, and since it's, against undead, I think we'll have a much easier time. This is the perfect quest to get us to our next big milestone. In any case, I think I'm going to stop right here for now. I really hope you guys enjoyed The Legend of Stalvin and the completed journal entry. from Jitters regarding Sven, his family, Dark Riders. Really enjoyed reading that. Hopefully we can stumble upon more of that kind of stuff as we look to push deeper into our 30s. As always, I thank all of you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed today's episode, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel for more. I hope to see you back here in Duskwood. Take care.